Discount Podcast.
Welcome, you cheap beggars, to Discount, the bargain bin gaming podcast hosted by three hosts so cheap that adjusted for inflation, you'd think they were the SNES.
Nice. That was a good value console, yeah.
Wow.
It was the cheapest adjusted for inflation outside of handhelds. I don't trust it. And the Nintendo Lite doesn't deserve any sort of love.
And really, who trusts a handheld?
Who trusts a handheld?
They're all sneaky little consoles.
Trusts a handheld.
It's true. Yep.
That is our spin-off podcast.
Yep.
Where we just point at handhelds and go, do I trust this?
We discussed terrible DS movie tie-ins, because who trusts a handheld game?
Yes.
Who trusts a handheld, yeah.
Yes, I am one of your hosts. I am Josh. I'm plugging into Player 2.
I'm Darren, hello. And the newest featured player in Dead by Daylight.
It's me. It's Cerys, and I have Jigsaw.
You have a chainsaw.
Nice.
Fair enough. Nice. We're back, and this is another retrospective look back on the whole month of August. It's not one of our. It's not one of our fight ones.
Sound like an old-timey, 1920s mad professor.
The 1920s Mad Professor. That's a dying art form, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you'd be a good one though.
That was 100 years ago. That was around.
Oh, back when you were born.
Back when I was born. As the second oldest of the podcast.
Right now, that wasn't an invitation to take a swipe at my age.
But yes, we're here, we're Discount, we are discussing all things August. We also do our fight one, but that is for the next episode. And was the last episode.
Yeah.
This is a middle
In
episode.
between.
Yeah, is this the second Tuesday of the month episode?
Yeah, no.
Fourth Tuesday?
Yep.
Yes, there we are. We knew we'd get it right eventually.
We know where we are.
It's
We
the
know
middle
them.
child. We forget about them constantly.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are the Bill. It's the Bill Clinton of podcasts.
Yes.
I had to work really hard to
That's
get
our
up there.
tagline.
Yes, the Bill Clinton
No,
podcast.
Yeah.
Don't trust them.
Take that how you will.
Don't trust that round in turns.
Yes.
But yeah, we're here discussing all things August. But as always, we go through our news, what we've played, and then we look at the PS Plus lineup. So should we just jump straight into some news and some discussions and just talk about what's been going on in the world of gaming this August? And there's not really a clear place where to start with August.
At the beginning.
So should we start with some moans and groans and
Hell yeah.
gripes and stuff?
Everyone loves most grunts and gripes.
And let's start with the delight that is Overwatch 2.
Oh, yes. Our favourite thing to moan about.
Our favourite thing to moan about, and not just us.
Nope.
Apparently, everyone loves to moan about
Yeah.
it. It is now the worst reviewed game of all time on Steam.
No way.
Yep.
Worst
Of all time?
All time.
of all time.
Shit, I didn't realise it was of all time.
Yeah.
They really shat the bed
It
with
got
this.
shit
did.
on.
And rightly
And
so.
to be fair, I will say, I think even at the beginning, I think because we started playing Overwatch 1 together and we really wanted to kind of give it a go, and I fought it for so long. I was like, no, I can do it, and you just can't. It's just not the same.
I mean, my sister Liv, who I play a lot of games with, Darren plays a lot with, you play a lot with Gareth as well. She will not go back to Overwatch 2, and she was potentially one of the most adamant Overwatch 1 players I've met, she's bought the game, the Overwatch 1, I think 3 different consoles. She
Yeah.
has it on PC, Xbox, and on PlayStation.
I think our progression of playing Overwatch as a group started with her.
Yes.
Yeah.
We play games together all the time, and then she started playing Overwatch, so
Yeah.
you disappeared to play Overwatch. So I then bought Overwatch to disappear to play Overwatch.
Yeah, well, I think it was Liv, when we were, drunk at your parents at Christmas that one time, was like,
Come play it.
come
yeah.
play, you'd love it,
See,
play.
and really, that's the sort of spokesperson you want for Overwatch. Someone who's going to put good things. Or you
Someone
can just,
drunk.
Or you can get a giant square-faced wrestler to do it instead. Because
Yep.
what
Oh
the
my
fuck is
God.
John Cena doing?
Oh,
in
that
it?
was a beautiful trailer.
I gotta be honest though, I really respect John Cena's ability to just be like, yeah,
Yeah.
fucking put my name to that.
Why not?
Okay.
John Cena, he's just done a film with Jackie Chan, which is terrible, but...
But do you guys know that he speaks fluent, Mandarin?
yeah.
It's everything.
Yeah, he does.
that, which is crazy to me because I'm sorry, this is a tangent, but speaking of putting his name to everything, he's really famous for that ice cream advert in China, the Bing Chilling thing.
Yeah.
And the kids in work were obsessed with it, and I couldn't go a day without hearing Bing Chilling, Bing Chilling.
He did it because they wanted to expand WWE into China, but now it's also a great thing for Blizzard, which is what it still is, because although they've left China technically, because they've been bought by an American company, but Activision is American company, isn't it?
I think so.
Yes, but obviously Microsoft is trying to acquire them. But he's another ambassador back into China with an American face, so that's probably part of what they're doing there. But there was also the talk, was he going to be an operator?
Oh, that'd be great.
And I only just realised he's not going to be an operator, which is sad. But also, I'm glad. I don't want it to turn into like a Fortnite situation of that, although I don't really care anymore because I'm not playing.
I think it should have just been like a Reinhardt skin where he takes off the helmet and it's John Cena.
That would have been so good.
That would be better.
Yeah.
Or you have it as a Sombra skin, and when she turns invisible, it says, "You can't see me," and then runs around.
I thought when you mentioned it, it was speaking of Fortnite. I thought it was going to be like the Ariana Grande thing, you know, where she came out and there was like there was a bunch of skins related to her. There was like a whole arc related to her. Like, so what is this involvement?
He is just literally promoting it. So it's much like when Megan Fox did Diablo 4, where they had her face everywhere.
Oh,
Everyone's like, "Oh, Diablo 4."
And thank you, Diablo 4, for that campaign.
But that was, again, that's Blizzard, who are just buying celebrities, essentially, to put their faces to products to try and make more people go to it. I feel like this was like... I think this came out before the big bad reviews of what happened. Yeah. And the reviews changed after they did their big invasion event in August 10th, which people didn't like.
Well, I think the thing is Blizzard can't stop shooting themselves in the foot and then trying to fix it by going, just throw popular person at it.
Yeah.
Like, they fucked up the transition from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2.
Yep.
A lot of people sort of fell out of love with World of Warcraft, and then they launched the classic version, and now people are falling out of love with that because it's catching back up.
Yeah.
They did all the things when they went into Diablo 4 Season 1, and they fucked everything up.
They're doing a real good job of this. I don't know if they're doing it deliberately to show, actually, we're not that good. Let Microsoft buy us. And it'll be fine. Who knows?
It seems mad to me, though, that like the majority of the criticism I say the majority, pretty much all of the criticism that I've seen for Overwatch 2 is just that they took away certain things from Overwatch 1 that made it really fun, and how they haven't listened to any of it and have just gone, we won't do that, but here's John Cena.
It's the increase of microtransactions, it's the removal of the utility of players. I mean, like, talking of Liv, her partner, Jake, used to go on and play in 6 people with Overwatch 1, and then they removed it so it had to be only 5 people teams, and like suddenly one person's not allowed to play with you. Like, why? I don't know. I don't get it. But then again, I'm always a support, so it doesn't really matter. I just get shouted at whenever I play it.
I just think it was kind of sinister how they did it, because people started complaining about loot boxes, and they went, okay, going into Overwatch 2, we'll take out the loot boxes, it'll all be fine. We won't mention that we also removed any other way you can get free skins. You have to invest time and money into the battle pass to get the skins you originally got for free through the loot boxes.
But, I mean, like,
but there's no loot boxes.
Loot boxes were great because you do it that way. Just remove the paying of loot boxes. Yeah. You earn them, you get random things, and you'll be fine.
To be honest, I just miss things like I loved the little player cards that you got at the end. Like that made it fun because like, for me it was like rare that I got a card, but when I did get a card, it was like, time on
fire to know that you're playing well. It was just so much was removed, and the people don't like it, the critics don't like it, but that's what it is. But there are games that critics are loving and people are having weird gripes with. It seems like this month is the biggest game, potentially the most discussed game I think of the year so far has been released this month.
In the past few years, lovely Baldur's Gate 3. None of us have played it.
No.
Just gonna put that out there now.
It's one of those games that I actually put out on a poll to see what people wanted, whether I should buy it on PS5, should buy it on PC, or not buy it because they're not doing a physical version. And the majority of people said don't buy it, it's not a physical version, and then everything else was tied. So
people, I said this to Darren on the way down here. People keep telling me like, "Oh, you should like go and get Baldur's Gate 3." Like in my little like friends group chat, they're like, "It's really up your street," and I'm like, I don't think it is.
I think it's because it's D&D. That's what it is. It's all D&D based. But sorry, Darren. Yes, you were saying.
So I want to have a little moan about.
I wish you guys could see the disdain in Darren's face right now.
I don't want to have to do this. I don't want to have a moan because I acknowledge the game's good. The game looks really good. It looks really fun. I'm super happy for everyone. But there's been this general sort of air around the game where people are now sort of going to wherever various social medias and being like, this is the new benchmark for how games should be made and developed.
This happens whenever you get a new thing. Yeah. Zelda came out. This is how all games should be made. This is how all games should be made,
I have 2 arguments against that. The first argument I have against that is that, much like films, I think part of the appeal of games is the amount of variety in place.
Yep.
So I think the worst thing you could possibly do is find a game you like and go, every game should be this, because then that becomes boring. It's the thing of like, if every game or if everything is a 10 out of 10, nothing's a 10 out of 10. Because things lose their value respectively to other things if they're all the same thing. The other one, I don't know how this has happened.
Sorry, just to clarify, when they say that all games should be made like this, what are they saying? Is it just the level of depth and
the level of depth, the level of care
permutations?
gone into it?
Was it like 7,000 permutations of your options and stuff? They're saying 7,000 endings. It's permutations of different endings, but like there's massive scope in this, and I think that's what everyone's saying is the thing.
The thing in regard to that, I don't know how this sort of perception has happened. People seem to think that this game is like
the second coming of Christ?
Has defied the odds to be what it is.
Yeah.
Where like
what odds are we talking about?
So, people are thinking that this hasn't come from like a typical AAA studio.
Yeah.
People, for some reason, are thinking this was made on like a lesser budget by a smaller team, and it's got all of these things. So why can't the big budget teams do it?
Right.
Part of that is because big budget teams have shareholders who need money, who need sort of results. The other thing, this game was made on at least $100 million budget.
Yep.
Which is kind of low for AAA, but majority of AAA budgets are in marketing anyway, and it's had a relatively limited marketing budget.
Yeah.
So, it's probably pretty even.
I mean, the thing is, this didn't need as big a marketing budget because Wizards of the Coast put the money in, and they were sort of talking about it anyway, and they were the key demographic of players going into
That's
it.
another thing. They're a privately owned studio. That 100 million came straight into them, and they had basically unlimited creative freedom to do it.
Yep.
This game was made over 6 years. It spent 3 years in early access, and when it originally launched in early access, the response wasn't very good.
Nope.
People didn't think it was very good, and then they had 3 years to tune it up. For some reason, people think it was a small team. Larian Studios is a 450-person team.
Yeah.
They tripled their size during the development of this game. And I think a typical AAA one will have, like, their teams go up to 1,000 for major games, but development teams are probably relatively even. And, like, every game could be made over 6 years of 3 years in early access. Half the studios would get shut down because their shareholders would get pissy.
Yep.
The other half, like, I quite like that we have games coming out regularly. I quite like that we have indie games. We have Ubisoft games that come out every sort of 2 to 3 years.
Give me an Assassin's Creed that's full of bugs and I will still enjoy it.
Exactly.
I'm not going to give them the big money and I will complain about it, but I will go back in a year's time and enjoy what I'm playing. I'm not saying all games should be like this. No. We need the variety, as you say.
Exactly. Like, I am overjoyed that this game is good. I'm so happy that people are enjoying it and get a lot about it, and I will pick up, and I will probably also have a great time with it. I just think somehow the perception has come out that this is like a little baby team with a shoestring budget who've defied all the odds. And it's like, no, they're a 500-person, $100 million studio who had all the freedom and time in the world to make the perfect game. And then it came out perfectly, and people went, what? It's like if I won the 100-meter sprint by attaching rockets to my shoes, and they were like, how did you do it?
Oh my god, the underdog!
I know!
It's crazy, because I mean, it's not even a small IP. Baldur's Gate is a big IP. People know about Baldur's Gate. Divinity Original Sin, a lot of people know about this game, and that's one they developed previously. It's not like it's hidden, but it has been marketed as this tiny little team has defied the odds. Which, the thing is, people love an underdog story. I mean, it's the same thing when Witcher 3 came out. CD Projekt Red was essentially a privately run, it got all the money in, it was working itself, it released it. The second shareholders get involved, and this is, I think, where people are coming from, is that when shareholders got involved, we got Cyberpunk, which was good, it was delayed, it did take a long time, and it was flawed when it came out.
It was somehow both delayed and rushed.
Yes.
It's a weird scenario.
But now it works really nicely, and this is the thing, I think there's concern that people think the next Baldur's Gate they're going to try and push out in 2-3 years. Which I get, but by the same token, it's not a David and Goliath here. No. It's big. It's like a Vampire was like this AA thing that came out, and a lot of people liked for good thing, and it was a tiny budgeted game, and got a lot for what it was. And you see a few games like this. It doesn't happen very often, but this is still a big budget game.
I think it's like an amazing title. I just think it should be an example of like the perfect thing within its space. I don't think this should then be everyone should aspire to this, and any game that comes short of this is shit, because it's not that. I want a mixture of sandboxes, little indie games, narrative adventure-driven stories, that sort of thing.
It would be very boring if every game was exactly the same.
Like, isn't isn't this the complaint of the Ubisoft sandbox?
Yeah.
That Assassin's Creed came out, revolutionized the sandbox, and everything tried to do that, and now it's a tired trope.
Yeah.
And like the same thing will happen again because people have no fucking foresight.
Yeah.
So
Well,
they're
there's
like, oh,
always
everything
too
should be
much.
this, and then when everything is that, they're like, oh, it's too much for this.
I think people do rose-colored glasses, and it's very much people forget that you can have too much of a good thing.
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
You can't eat fucking pizza every day and then not
You
get
could.
sick of
I
pizza.
could eat pizza.
The worst
every
thing
day.
You
about-
would get sick of pizza so quick.
I also think I might have a cheese allergy, but that's separate.
It's just the worst thing about gaming is gamers, but not our audience. You guys.
No. Talking of that, so IGN gave this a 10 out of 10. A lot of people are giving it this way. But then they released a really shitty article about save scumming. Like, people are save scumming playing the games. It's disgusting. Why? And it's people playing Baldur's Gate, and they're saving before these options to see all the options rather than just... You're like, let a person play a fucking game.
Like you've never put a finger in a choose your adventure book so you can flick back if you made the wrong choice.
And I think, to be fair, like I'm a big believer in just let people do what they fucking enjoy. Like just let people have fun,
Let people
man.
play
Like
games.
who is it hurting if they want to do that?
Honestly, say, because it's a massive game, it's like a 100-hour game easy. I mean, I think someone did actually beat it in about 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Something ridiculous. And
I love speedrunners. They're the best.
Someone
7 minutes?
Someone did a speed run for romancing, so trying to fuck someone in the game. And I think the quickest someone's managed to do it is 7 minutes and 20 seconds or something.
Fucking hell, that's more game than people have got in real life.
Like, I will quickly say something on that front. It's my favourite Twitter, or the artist formerly known as Twitter, exchange I've seen in a long time, which was two people going back and forth because one of them cannot for the life of them get laid in Baldur's Gate, and the other one has his entire party fucking like dripping off of him. And he's like, how can you not make it work?
Oh my god. 7
there
minutes? I mean, fair play to that person.
I think there was stats though because it was like the first week that came out, and they did a bunch of things. And I think cumulatively the players had played over 1,000 years worth of the game. But I think it was 56% of people had failed, or might be higher. I think about 70% of people had failed to romance like this main guy, and it's like, well, you fucked up, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did a whole thing about save scumming, and I was just like, come on, IGN, let people play what they want to do.
Yeah, just weirdly like elitist.
Yeah.
Of like, if you're not playing it properly, you're not playing it.
There's like an edge of that, though, isn't it? Like in any, in most gaming communities that I've seen,
Any
on things,
community.
like,
Any community,
yeah.
Any fan base, anything.
Well, it's like the whole, like on the like the metalheads thing. Like, you know, you don't really like metal if you don't like Metallica, and you don't like, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Or if you like Metallica, you're not a true metalhead if that's your favourite metal band. And stuff
Yeah.
Or if you only like Metallica because you heard them in Stranger Things.
Yes.
You're a real fan. And then Metallica were in the comments going, no, that's fine.
Let people discover and have fun with things in the way that they do it.
Yeah, it's because
Like-
people hold no value in themselves. So they put their value in their likes, and other people who
Yes.
don't like it as much aren't worth it.
Absolutely.
So obviously we're talking about people being
Except
shitty.
our audience.
Except our audience. We're talking about shitty news.
You guys.
Talking about
kiss.
shitty news. There was a thing that popped up about kids not being able to play GTA 6. There was a whole thing about kids not being able to play GTA 6. We're just talking about people being shitty online.
Yeah.
And there was a whole article about the ESRB, the rating system.
Oh, I
where
remember this now.
going to be using facial recognition
Yeah.
for games.
What?
So you buy your game, and then you have to take a selfie of yourself and send it in to work out if you're old enough to be allowed to play this
No
game.
way.
It turns out this is fake news, but it
I was
picked
gonna
up
say-
traction, and everyone went mental for about 3 weeks before they had to.
I was going to say, surely do that. Like, how would that even work? Like,
But like the whole article was like, I remember having to try and get my mum to buy my game when
I was going to say that. Do you just take a picture of like your parents' face and go, they bought it, it's for them?
Yeah, I don't understand where so it's all bullshit, but it's like there's so much shitty news articles out there right now, and you can't trust any of them.
No.
And I think it was on IGN pushed that story again as well. It's not that I got a problem with IGN. It's just they give everything a 10 or a 9 or a 10, and they seem to hate everyone. I don't get it.
Unless it's Pokemon, then they give it a 7.8 because there's too much water.
That's
The worst thing is that review is accurate. There
Yeah.
is too much water in that game, but people took it as a joke because they misinterpreted
mind
what
you.
it meant.
Talking about that, I think they gave another game a 7 out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
That released this Friday that we've recorded
yeah.
on National Chainsaw Massacre Day.
hey, and that's my segue.
It sort of ruins a segue. You always say, "Here's my segue."
The thing is, I didn't know it was a segue, so I was waiting for you like, what game got you? What? Why is this relevant?
In any case, yeah, that's my piece of news, is that on was it National Chainsaw Massacre Day?
Yeah, it's on Chainsaw Massacre Day.
It's when the Chainsaw
I lie, they
Massacre
gave it a 6 out of 10.
happened.
Oh, shout out for Spoken. I also got 6 out of 10.
But yeah,
better
the
than that.
Chainsaw Massacre game was released on the 18th of August. Obviously it's been adapted from the film. It says, I'm on Games Hub at the moment, and it says that it's in the same vein as Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, it's an asymmetric horror game where you've got one person being Leatherface,
Yep.
and then 7 others.
You
being-
embody a member of the Slaughter family, while
cool.
everyone else...
Oh, so you can play like the
person
brothers.
who plays the murderer
Yeah.
is one of the Slaughter family, and then the rest of the people that you play with will be playing as victims.
I mean, really, Leatherface is the only one you really want to be.
I hope it's like Rogue Legacy, where you pick a new one in like the family tree and they have weird traits and stuff.
They are all inbred over
That'd
there,
be
so
grand.
they
Yeah. Yeah,
like a
yeah.
sandwich.
I mean, it's a good one for horror fans, isn't it?
I hope you're not the mother who's clearly just a skeleton that they're not there, or the old man in the who's like this withered old man who literally like is sucking on like the blood of the woman that's holding there, and that's how like, been keeping.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
for sure.
Yeah.
But I think like basically, I mean, there's not much to say about it. It was developed by Sumo Digital. It's
I'm trying to Sumo Digital
alright.
sound really familiar.
Yeah.
I can't remember who they are.
Sumo Digital do.
I'm gonna have a little look now.
I had a real like visceral reaction to that.
Sackboy: A Big Adventure,
That's it.
That's a
Yeah.
and more
Sackboy.
importantly, Team Sonic Racing.
Oh,
Ah,
I think that's the bad one.
Hood Outlaws.
Oh, I enjoyed that.
What-
The
what a-
2 minutes we played of
What a
it.
strange selection of games
I remember
they've
them
done.
from Sackboy.
Yeah.
I remember them from Sackboy.
the only thing that I'm surprised about, I guess, is that if it is in the same vein as Dead by Daylight, I'm surprised that there wasn't just like a Dead by Daylight Texas Chainsaw Massacre thing rather than it being a
it's-
separate game. But
It's like Friday the 13th had its own separate game,
Yeah.
which was in the similar vein, and that's shutting down because they're losing the rights to
Right.
everything. And I think that Dead by Daylight's its own separate sort of creation.
yeah.
And you'll see that certain characters, like Stranger Things on there was a rights thing. You could be a Demogorgon on there and you could be the kids,
Yeah.
but they can no longer sell the rights to him now.
Yeah.
So the issue is you lose part of it,
Yeah.
whilst with Texas Chainsaw Massacre they can focus just on that and build worlds based
Yeah.
on
That's
that.
the thing. It's also like the Dead by Daylight has its very distinct gameplay style where
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
activate the generators and then you find the way out. And like the Friday the 13th one I remember was on the camp.
Yeah.
And the way out was a car. And I think you had to find like tools to repair it and then you had to fuel it up and then you could get in the car and leave. So if you make your own thing, you have a bit more freedom
Control.
in how
Yeah.
you design it. So
I
you would
get
do
it.
something more in line with like the concept.
But they love this asymmetric horror because there's also, is it Killer Clowns from Outer Space? Has that come out or is that coming out? I can't remember.
I think it's
Coming
coming out. I don't
So
think
that's
it's been
one
released
there.
yet.
We had the Ghostbusters game. We had the Predator Survival.
The
ones.
Dragon Ball one launched and it was
Dragon
really
Ball.
bad.
Yeah, so let's hope this one does better.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
any case, it does look like a lot of fun. It's been released on multiple platforms. I think you said it's on Game Pass at the moment.
Yes, it's free on Game Pass right now. So, want that.
yeah, it'd be fun to check out for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, I'd be more than happy to check that out rather than a game that has already been released 10 years ago and has just been ported over for the same price.
Oh, yes.
Like Red
Most
Dead
of them.
Redemption. That's the big... Like, Red Dead Redemption's just announced that they're re-releasing... Rockstar have announced they're releasing GTA... Red Dead Redemption, not GTA, Red Dead Redemption on PS5 and Switch.
Yeah. I think
Or is it
this
PS4 and Switch, isn't it?
PS4 and Switch. I think this is hilarious.
For 60 quid.
Genuinely
60
I
quid!
think it's 50 or 60
so
60
funny.
quid!
It's 50, I think.
50,
Oh,
but they're making no changes to it. They're just
No
porting it
changes.
across.
I
That's
think
insane.
I think this is so funny for multiple reasons. One, it's a how old is Red Dead
8
now?
years, I think it is. It might be longer
No,
than that.
it's longer than that.
I will find out for you. Whilst
It's like
talking.
2010, I think.
I have 2011 in my head.
It's one of those two, which means it's 12 or 13 years old.
2010.
Yeah. And then they went, the pricing is in line with the market, which is probably in line with the market for a new game, not a 13-year-old game.
Yeah.
So this isn't even like a remaster or anything.
Or a remake
it's
or
literally
anything, no.
just the same. What the
However,
fuck?
how can people be mad that it's not a remaster when they literally previously released the GTA remasters, which were all garbage?
Oh yeah, people just go from it. Oh, the GTA remasters were garbage. Actually,
It's really funny.
I do have
probably
a
a better game.
I do have a platinum on GTA 3 remaster.
Like, this is probably better than it would have been if they tried to remaster it because we saw what happened that
Yeah.
time.
That's true. I mean, what they need to do is a full remake if they were going to do it.
Yeah.
Because they're doing this, and Undead Nightmare is included in that price as part of the argument, but it's a lot for what it is. I won't be buying it. It does seem too much. If they'd done a full remake of it,
I
would have got it.
this seems extortionate.
I
I'll
might
be
get
honest.
it if it's like 15 quid.
I will wait for it to come for free on PS Plus in a year's time.
Yeah.
If it goes heavily on sale, I might do, because this one doesn't have the multiplayer, so I can avoid the Red Dead multiplayer trophies.
That's fair. But yeah, I think those are sort of the big news articles that have come along. The other one to mention is just that they've, Lance Reddick passed away and obviously was the voice in Destiny 2.
Yeah.
They've replaced him with Keith David now.
It's good.
Which is nice. I like Keith David.
I like Keith David.
Obviously, it's hard to replace Lance Reddick. I thought they were going to remove the character.
For those of us who, like me, don't know who Keith David is.
You do know who Keith David is.
You'd know him from things.
Community Season 5.
He's
Elroy?
Elroy.
Oh, yeah.
But
Okay.
the connection I quite like, isn't he in Halo?
He is, yes.
He's the Arbiter in Halo,
Yeah.
which is a nice connection, like the Bungie connection.
It's probably why they
through.
called him back, because
I
previous
like
work
that.
with him,
Like they
so.
pulled him through as the replacement.
And
creates that link.
only other bit of news that I saw was Assassin's Creed is for some reason releasing a week
early.
But I don't know if they're releasing it a week early because they want to keep it further away from Spider-Man.
Correct, because another game has been pushed back 2 weeks, and they said specifically it was so people could enjoy other games coming out. So there's the middle 2 weeks of October are fucked
it's
for game
absolute.
releases. So like Assassin's Creed have come back a week, and other games gone back 2 weeks to get out of it. It's just like, so you can play them all and not have to buy one of 10
So
games.
it's come out the day before Detective Pikachu. This new big competition.
Oh,
It's like Detective Pikachu. Isn't one of the Mario games coming out in
fucking
October?
excited for
Yeah.
Assassin's
Detective
Creed.
Pikachu,
I think
man.
Alan Wake's coming out in October.
October
Spider-Man.
14th it was coming out. Spider-Man's 22nd.
It might have been Alan Wake might have been the one that got pushed back.
2 weeks, is it?
Yeah,
We'll have to have a look at
possibly.
it. But October is struggling because they know Spider-Man is just going to dominate.
Yeah, so they're like, enjoy everything. We'll just sort of spread out.
What I think is fun, obviously, Baldur's Gate is coming to PS5 before it comes to Xbox, but it's coming to PS5 the same day that Starfield is coming to Xbox. Like, here you go, here's your two massive RPGs, console fans, off you go.
But it's a better option than what Horizon keeps doing. Do you know the Horizon trend?
Oh, they just come out on a...
They keep coming out at the wrong time. The first Horizon came out a week before Breath of the Wild, and the second Horizon came out a week before Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And
so they cannot catch a break on their release dates. Can the
cannot.
Horizon team? Real shame.
So talking of release dates and games, and when we just go into what we've been playing, shall
Games.
we?
Yeah.
Games.
Games.
Firstly, I just thought we'd bring up the fact that all three of us are now in a alphabet challenge situation.
Boy.
I would argue that me and Darren's is a little bit more intense than Cerys'.
Yeah.
Me and Darren are doing an alphabet of platinum games, games we have to get a platinum on, whilst Cerys is just playing an alphabet of games that she needs to either complete or give a good bloody go at.
Yeah.
And you've also got two,
go.
and you got 2 free squares.
Yes.
Which is good, because we couldn't think of letters.
I put it upon myself that I need to do one complete run through of it.
I'm looking forward to some of them.
Elden Ring, you can do a complete run through of Elden Ring.
Hell
yeah.
I can try.
It's a great game.
Try. And the one that I've chosen to do a platinum on because I'm enjoying it so much. And I think that's the way that I'll do it. If I'm really enjoying it, I'll try and platinum it. If I'm not so fast, I'll just do a run through.
I think that's a fair way to do it. I mean, we chose games that we have physical copies of pretty much for all of them. I think there's one game we have to buy digitally, which is Inside, but it's a well worth game.
It's also, I think, on PS Plus, so you can get like a trial subscription, just download Inside and beat it. It's not long.
No.
Great game, though.
So you've got, I think yours comes to about 600 hours if you were to do all of that, whilst mine and Darren's are coming to roughly 1150, 1,150 hours complete. So you've got your quarry done, Cerys, at the moment?
Yeah, I just completed a couple of days ago, actually, a complete run through of the quarry, and as I said, I enjoyed it so much that I am now choosing to do the platinum on it, which is taking longer than I thought. Because there are so many trophies that are related to the different endings that you get.
Yep.
But I'm enjoying seeing how the different choices can have different outcomes. There are definitely downsides to doing the platinum of it. There are certain scenes that I've watched like 3 times now, and I'm like, oh my god, do I really have to listen to this again?
You can't skip through the scenes either, really.
You can do chapter select, but the problem with chapter select, which is what I'm finding now, is that there's one, for example, There's one trophy that I'm going to have to go back through for, which is getting all the tarot cards.
Yeah.
And I get all of them, but there is one that is right at the beginning of just as a cutscene comes in, and you have to be so quick with it, that I've missed both times. And when you do chapter select, so you don't have to do all the bit at the beginning, you then have to go through the entire game from that chapter.
Yeah.
So it makes you run through shorter, but it is because you end up with all the things that you have up until that chapter. But it does mean that you have to sit through certain parts.
I would say it's all right. It's the second best game that it's Supermassive, isn't it? That have done these. I think it's the second best one they've done. So it's probably worth playing a few times.
I am actually really, really enjoying playing it through. Like when this ends, when we finished recording, my first thing is I'm going to be going to play the Quarry. I'm really, really enjoying it. I have to say a standout character for me is Max. For those of you who've watched Santa Clarita Diet, he plays the son in it of the neighbors, and he's just fantastic. He's not even in it for that long. He's not like a main character, but just it's well written. The whole thing is spooky. There's like it's great. I'm really enjoying it. I'm having great fun with it.
Yeah, it's good horror campfire fun, isn't it?
I enjoy pretty much everything that Supermassive have done that I've played. There's a lot of Supermassive games that I would like to play.
There's only like two more I think that you haven't played.
Yeah, that I would really like to give a go.
Until Dawn, The Quarry, Man of Medan,
Little Hope,
and House of Ash.
There's also The Devil in Me.
Oh, and The Devil in Me. Oh, yes.
So there's three I haven't played that I would really like to play, but the ones that I really enjoy what they put out. So
yeah, I would argue that's the second best one they've done. Funnily enough, I'm actually playing Until Dawn right now because that's on my my Black Room. I'm only just partway through chapter 2, so I've only just started it. I have played it previously ages ago on someone else's console. I think it was a PS3 back in the day or whenever it came out. Was it PS4? Was it? But yeah, it was on someone else's. I played that. I enjoyed it. But I've gone back to that. I have got 2 platinums done so far, which is Wreckfest, which was a lot of fun. So I played
really
that,
good.
which is just playing around, smashing up cars a lot. And the other one, I'm trying to remember what it is now.
It was whatever you did first.
Which was something good.
It was something good.
He said,
Death's Door.
Death's Door, yes. Death's Door, which was great. Lots of fun. So yeah, Death's Door and Wreckfest. I'm currently playing Scarlet Nexus as well, which is a Bandai Namco.
Bandai Namco.
Bandai Namco. What a fucking nightmare. Got all of the vowels wrong there.
Oh, God.
instead of drawing us for the next
just draw you.
Just drew Bandai Namco, please.
But yeah, so I thought I'd talk a bit about Scarlet Nexus because it's quite a cool story in the way they've done it. So it's a massive JRPG. It's not JRPG. It's an action Japanese game. I wouldn't say it's an RPG really. You got 2 options at the beginning. You can either be the guy or the girl, and it tells a story because the main story is the 2 of them. You just get bits from different perspectives instead, which makes so like in this point, the guy he's had visions as a young person to join this USF force. It's like this ability, and a woman has saved him as a child, which is what made him want to do it. The woman looks like the female protagonist, but she's never met you before, and she's got a different vision that's made her join it. And basically, the idea is it's in a world where basically Japan, but there's like this team that deals with these things that come in and eat people's brains, and you attack them, but you've all got like special powers, and when you're with people in a team, you can utilize their powers. So you've got telekinetic powers, throwing things around, but then like someone else will have pyrokinesis, so they can make your weapon have fire on it for a brief time, etc. So the combat's fun, it's fluid, it's all right, it's nothing to write home about, but it just runs really nicely. But the fun bit is the actual like cutscenes. It's all done in almost like manga. So like it flips in like you're in a comic book almost. They're talking, they're doing bits, and then other tiles will appear on top of it, like you would have it. And that's the really cool bit for me, is how it is. And the story is really expanding as I'd hoped it. So I'm only like in chapter 3, so not massive spoilers. But it turns out the force that you're working for, maybe not what they seem. One of the people you were with turned into one of these massive creatures after they sort of went wrong. Someone who was your best friend for a long time, you helped him after he'd been attacked, and he's turned on you, and you're now basically on the road. It's lots of stuff going on. It should be fun. It's only, I think, about 30 hours for one run through. But the nice thing is, New Game Plus, you have to run through everyone's stories, but you have to do like a New Game Plus anyway to get everything.
Yeah.
But New Game Plus, you can play as the other person, but you've still got all your upgrades. So you get to play a second
cool.
New Game Plus, but from a different perspective. So you get to see it twice, which is really fun. I like that.
That's cool. Yeah. I am also on 2. I have Hotline Miami, good game, and Slime Rancher, which was a game I did not get into the first time I tried it, and this time really did. That's a great game. Weird game. Great game.
You're ranching slimes.
You are ranching slimes. You're
How,
a big.
how does one ranch a slime?
So they go in little.
Roughly.
They go in little enclosures, and you put food in the enclosures, and they shit out these things called plorts, which are like little crystals. Plorts.
Oh my god.
With a P, come on.
Which are like little crystals, and then you
Nice.
sell those on the plort market for coins, which you can then use to
God,
upgrade the enclosures. You can make like little farms, little chicken coops to feed them with. There's all sorts of different ones, and they will have like different favourite foods. Their plorts are worth different amounts. You can combine them.
Yep.
So then they share the favourite foods, and they share out both types of plort, but then they get more aggressive. And it's like there's one which is docile until you combine it with another, and it's super aggressive. You
say
have to put them
plort
in certain
again?
places. Plort.
God,
Yes.
that's a satisfying word, isn't it?
But you got through that one
Plort.
after some difficulty.
I did. Had a struggle at the end because there is a trophy at the end for getting 3 plorts from a gold slime. Gold slimes are extraordinarily rare, and to get 3 plorts from them, you either need to use a specific item or get an upgrade that gives you 3. And after like an hour, I found the item, I found a gold slime, and I fired that item right off the fucking side of the world.
Oh, good.
So I had to go find another one.
Good.
But no, the game I'm currently playing for number 3 is Rogue Legacy 2, which is fucking hard.
I mean, Rogue Legacy 1 was great when it came out.
Fantastic game. I love 2 even more.
2 was a free one on PS Plus a month ago or 2 months ago?
Last month, I think.
Last month.
It has a lot more sort of going on. There's a lot more movement stuff going on. There's more classes. There's more like traits. I think there's more to do with sort of the upgrade side of things. But it's just so much fun. The thing I've been enjoying more so, I think, is that you can make friends essentially with everyone who's on the dock, which is like your loading area before you go into the game proper. And they have these little stories that unfold as you talk to them more and more.
That didn't really happen in the first one.
No. So, like, a fun story that continues on is that so I will preface this by saying at the end of every friendship line, they give you a gift of what are called soul stones, which give you certain upgrades.
Are you sure they're called plorts?
They're not called plorts.
Okay.
Everything
Soul
should be
stones.
called plorts.
Sorry, soul plorts. But there's like a fun storyline that the blacksmith and the enchantress who sells runes start a relationship.
Oh, that's cool.
And like, there's a little story of her that she's not sleeping very well because he's tried to make her a new pillow, but because he's a blacksmith, he's made it out of stones, which is really uncomfortable. But like, you get to the end, and someone has given her soul stones as a wedding present. She doesn't know what to do with them, so you get them. The best one is he's called the Architect.
I was going to say, that's quite nice because they're the first 2 on the dock as well,
Yes.
so they're with you for the entire journey for
So you
Rogue
sort of
Legacy
exchange
2.
both. The what I've been enjoying the most is the Architect, who is an old man who tells you stories. And I've got a story up here, and I want to tell you this story.
Okay.
Because they are...
Give me a yarn.
There's stories you'll be familiar with a slight twist, and this one made me laugh my fucking ass off when I read it. Okay, so
Is
I'm
this
about...
better than any play of the game you've had in any of the games this year?
Correct. I'm about to tell you the story of the turtle and the hare. You think you're familiar with this one?
No, tortoise is what I'm aware of.
Okay. Once upon a time, there was a turtle and a hare. The turtle was called Jiminy Cricket, and the hare was called Jiminy Turtle. Jiminy Cricket the turtle was slow and old. So old. On the other hand, Jiminy Turtle the hare was also old and slow. So very old. One day, Cricket the turtle and Turtle the hare went outside. They never met each other because they were both so slow and so old. They also didn't live near one another. Eventually, Cricket the turtle died of old age. A few years later, Turtle the hare also died of old age. The end. The moral of the story is that age kills all.
Honestly, it's
All of his stories are like that.
that sounds like me on one of my fucking mentees.
So fucking funny because
It
they're
does.
all like that.
That literally sounds like when there's too much silence in the car and you need to...
Oh yeah, I need to fill it. I will just make up stories, and they are basically that way.
But like the game is great. The animation in it, like the art style,
They
is
changed
weirdly
it.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a really nice cell shading. It's super smooth animation. Every now and then you'll watch like your character animation. And you'll be like, "Fuck, that looks nice."
It's weird.
That looks really good.
I actually like how Rogue Legacy 1 looked more.
you?
For me, I think this is almost too smooth.
It's very smooth.
which is almost anti what I'm expecting for it for some reason. I can't work out why.
But the last thing I'll say about this is that to get the platinum, you have to get to New Game Plus 7. And on each New Game Plus run, you have to beat an upgraded version of the boss. And the upgraded version of the World 2 boss is a motherfucker, and I hate it. There's 2 of them. When you get one down to 3/4 health, he spawns the second one. When you get either of them down to half health, they spawn 2 smaller versions who each do attacks and stuff. If you kill one, they spawn 3 of the little ones. So I was at a point where I'd like hit one accidentally. So I had one of the big ones left and 5 little ones, all of whom are fucking jumping and throwing projectiles. But you get points where they just don't like link up right. So like one of them will throw something. So you try to jump over it, and as you're trying to jump over it, another one does like a jump attack into you.
Yeah.
So there's some combinations where you just can't react in time, and it sucks. But that game's great. I'm sad we didn't give it enough props on its PS Plus episode.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking amazing.
I felt that way about a few games that I've gone back and played afterwards. I'm like, oh, fuck, I should have given this more. So, I mean...
like Circus Electric.
No, I never touched it. Never touched it.
I haven't played more of it, no.
No, but there are games that I go back to and I'm going, oh, I wish I'd spoken about this game. And then, it's too late. So
Yeah.
Tough shit. Also, this month has been the release of Madden for me and Darren, which is not for everyone, but it's already consuming a good portion of our life.
Having a fun time.
Yeah.
I wish there was more content, but having a fun time.
On Ultimate Team they've just released nothing. But there's lots of content in the game. Like I'm busy playing as a QB and then I have to go play as a linebacker and I have to go do all these fun things.
There is one thing about their change of content that I will praise though, which I quite like.
Which is shocking for an EA Sports game because it's normally the same every time.
I think this was partially a change that came in last year, which I didn't play.
No,
but I noticed it this year, so I quite like it. Which is the change they've made to solo battle rewards. I don't know if you've seen that. So previously in solo battles, you'd go up the tiers and you'd get a certain reward
based on where you finished.
Based on where you finished in the tier, which means you could never get top 100 because people worked out how to cheese it and would just do ridiculous fucking amounts of points. Now each tier is 1,000 coins. You get the coin reward as soon as you get into the tier, and the other rewards like packs and stuff are in a battle pass system.
Yes, yeah.
And you get XP for all sorts of things. So for like return yards, special teams touchdowns, passing touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, whatever. But it means you don't need to cheese it anymore because all you're getting from going up the ranks is the extra 1,000 coins and all the other benefits that you would be getting in sort of a weird like rich get richer way where the best teams get the best rewards. You get just from playing it at sort of any level.
At your own pace. It doesn't matter.
Like
as
the difficulty doesn't make a
packs,
difference. You just sort of can play it and get the stats and go through.
And they've also made it you can refresh those 4 over and over and over again indefinitely, I suppose. I don't know if that was previously.
It's
done,
nice.
But yeah.
I like it.
It allows you to spend more time in there and actually feel a bit more rewarded for what you've done.
Because before you do like some and you get stuck in the mid tier because you're not good enough to play at the higher difficulty or even get into the top 100 because people would just break the game.
I mean, the only issue is right now there's not enough content in the actual challenges because that's what I used to use to get all my stuff and now I can't. So tough. Oh well. Anyway, should we move past what's been played this month and we'll move into PS Plus things.
Play all the way home.
First impressions. PS Plus, good or bad?
I think good.
You think bad?
I don't think bad. I just didn't find it hugely.
Are you telling me you're seeing the PJ Masks game and calling this a bad month? Fucking fake gamer over here.
I think it's a weird month, this one. I think they've got a couple of games that are a bit more niche. Good. The big issue is they're currently still throwing tons of kids' games at people.
I like that. I think it's good.
They're doing it for a reason. I get it. It's not stuff that's appealing to me.
No, I get that they're doing it to, trick parents into buying PS Plus.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's nice that, like, this is the complaint I always see on, like, the subreddit and that. It's like, oh, why are they adding these fucking kids' games? It's like, because kids like to play games too.
Yeah.
So it's nice with every month's drop that they have like, oh, here's a couple, like, here's games for you. Here's fucking all your big headliners so you can have a fun time.
Yeah.
But also, if someone wants like a new game to play with their kid or sort of a game to chuck on with their kid and sort of engage with them in a hobby they like, it's nice that they've thrown in a couple to go, oh, here's something your kids will like, and here's something they can play with you, and then you can both get value out of this service.
And I completely get that, and I think that's right.
But it's the same way of like, it's a game that could have been another like Forgotten City,
and that's what
it's a kids game.
It is something else, and I think because they're removing more adult games, shall we say? more grown-up games from not adult games.
Adult
Like,
games.
here's all the sex games, but they're removing
Leaving PS Plus and it's just porn
It's-
from left
but
to
they're
right.
removing games at the same time they're putting games on there, but they're not removing
The kids' games.
They're not removing games of the same quality. We're removing
Yes.
much better games than the games we're getting in for the most part.
Yeah.
There are a couple of games.
This is a heavy month for game losses.
Yeah, and
but it's
the-
from one service in particular. You
Is
seen that? So, like, bundled in with the PS Plus, of course, is the Ubisoft Classics system,
Yes.
and like 80% of the games leaving this month are Ubisoft games.
Oh,
Right.
Like, I
okay.
think like original Watch Dogs, one of the Far Cry's, Ghost Recon Wildlands,
Okay.
are all leaving. I think the other crew is leaving as well.
Oh.
Right.
But like Ubisoft are dropping a lot, so I don't know if they're refreshing the service or something.
Maybe.
But a lot of the Ubisoft ones are going.
It's I don't know, but it's just a bit. I found this a very middling month, especially when it came to us rating our top sort of 7 games this month. I found like I had a couple that I was like, cool, you'll definitely go on top, and then it was a real wasteland for me.
I got to
of-
5 real easy. I think this month, we call a lot of them like filler months because they're just a lot of
Yeah.
middle.
I don't think.
I don't think this one has a lot of middle.
Yeah.
It has a really strong top and then like a bottom.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there's not much middle.
So you're either going to get like 1 or 2 games you're interested in, or you unfortunately the games aren't going to hit your likings,
Yeah.
and it's going to be a bad month. I
Yeah.
think it's more. There's more chance this is a bad month for people than it is a good month. Is the way I
I think
look
it's
at it.
good. I think I've got like, there's 3 I saw in the month that I went, yes, absolutely.
I have, and since I've since looked in a bit more detail at them, I've gone, oh, that's interesting. It's
Yeah.
not very well reviewed or anything, but it's something I
Yeah.
want to give a good go at. So, I mean, if I had to go good or bad right now, I probably would say it's a bad month, but
I'd say good.
but I like the games that I've got at the top.
Yeah. I think there's enough value there for me to call it
The
good.
problem is the games that are good for me, I've already have. So it didn't really work
There
for
was
me.
like one there that I'd say was good that I had, but there's a few that I've looked at. There's definitely like at least 5, I'd say, by what I've got written down. That I saw them and went, oh, I'll have to pick that up at some point.
Yeah.
And then they were like compacted into this month.
Yeah.
I'm like, killer.
I'm not dissatisfied with this month. I'll put it that way. I'm not dissatisfied. I think I was more dissatisfied with last month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is better than last month. So
Yeah.
I'll take it as a win overall.
Yeah.
So should we talk about the games that we're championing? Ding.
Championing.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
are you okay? You're stumbling over a lot of words.
I'm very drunk.
Is there anything by Bandy Namco?
There's not, but Keris, do you want to go first with your game? 'Cause-
Yes, because Josh hates this game, but I don't.
I do.
So I, just as a half
It didn't make it on my shortlist.
the Life Sims episode, you can get 2 Point Hospital.
you can also get the Jumbo edition,
you
so
can
you can get
get
the one
Jumbo
which all the DLCs if
Oh,
you want
yeah.
to put
Yeah.
yourself through
Essential.
that.
Yeah. I mean, like, I put it out there. This game is not for everyone. It's for people who really enjoy like management games and really enjoy
Hospitals.
Yeah. Does anyone really enjoy a hospital?
That's
Like,
like,
does anyone really enjoy a hospital?
This is a classic
Doctors.
play Zelda Wind Waker on the Wii U at the same time game.
yes.
So if you didn't
Yes,
happen to
it's its own
catch our Life Sims episode, it's not a Life Sim.
Nope.
No,
It's not.
I fucked it.
It's a
hospital
job
sim.
sim. And essentially it is exactly the same as if you ever played Theme Hospital when you were younger. You play almost like a hospital administrator in the sky, and you have to build hospitals and you have to work out your budget and you have to hire people, and there's a lot of stupid illnesses that come through that you have to find cures for
About
and you
5.
have to research. They go as
Okay.
as you build more hospitals, you get more illnesses.
And hopefully they get more entertaining things than fucking leaflet stands.
Yeah.
I like how you said that a bit like the way that Batman villains spawn, where it seems like the more he operates, the more villains
more-
come out. Opposed to like you build a hospital and then a new disease like emerges from the earth. I'll show you organised healthcare.
With a ridiculous disease, in comes Freddie Mercury.
Basically, the reason I chose it is just because, personally, I am a fan of these style of games. I do, but it does suffer from what I would call the Sim syndrome, where you play on it and you get addicted
Don't do
to
it,
it for
Darren.
like a week.
I thought you were going to say
and-
the syndrome.
Oh God!
It like came and went. I let that one run by me.
But you do get very addicted to it very quickly. But then you put it down and you don't play it for like 6 months, and then you pick it up again. And,
I was just thinking about how that team has made a new game, and it's one I'm more interested in. They made 2 Point Campus.
Oh,
so
yeah,
that's-
yeah.
Campus, and that apparently is a bit more involved.
yeah, that's the only
I'd
thing
like to
with
give
this
that one a
game I
go.
would say is that it's definitely got like that shelf life that you have.
The thing is, this is the same vibes as me playing Simpsons Tapped Out on my phone when I used to play that.
Yeah.
But like, I felt like, oh, I'm literally doing my quick thing, and then I will leave this for half an hour, and then I come back and pick it up, and it's running in the background.
Oh yeah.
This, I feel like you needed to be aware enough that you had to have like a course, like an eye over it at all times. But, you know, that's my...
I will say the other reason I picked it as well is because, funny enough, after we did this episode, I had a lot of conversations with people on my Instagram of people who actually had largely forgotten about the game, but they were adamant that this was the game that got them through lockdown in COVID, because it was so like, it's so smooth brain.
It feels like a real macabre sort of thing.
My
My
partner Lauren, like, games like this are a jam. That I call them veg out games. Where you have like a TV show on a tablet, you have like a set on a monitor, and then you just sort of play it and you check in with it every like 5 minutes.
It is
update.
Peak smooth brain time.
It's stuff like that. It's stuff like Planet Zoo, Planet Coaster, shit like that.
Yeah.
Where you just like build everything and then you just leave it running.
Yeah.
And you sort of check
I think I agree with you though that there are definitely like, I always preferred like theme park world over theme hospital, for example. Like there is definitely and there's a lot more fun in those kind of things. I would love to give the campus one a go. I think that would be really cool. But as far as games that, as you said, it's just I found it a really weirdly relaxing game, and I got really into it for probably about 2 weeks. I lost like a good 2 weeks of my life to this game at the beginning of the summer. And I would just, if you're into management games, if you're into those kind of sim games, I would give it a go. It's good fun. It does have a shelf life. It does suffer from that sim syndrome. You will get distracted by other games, but it's one I would recommend. And
it's your top voted one for this month. Mm-hmm. I've gone for one which I completely forgot. What I was trying to remember my platinums was Death's Door, which I think is a truly brilliant game. It's a isometric 3D action adventure game in the style of sort of like the classic Zeldas, or more, you know, Link's Awakening, but that's the remaster. But you know what I mean? It's the classic style with a Souls-like twist to it, so it's quite difficult, quite challenging. Especially got the bosses in there. The rest of it's not too bad, and it's not like you have to run off to go collect your souls or anything like that. It's nothing on those lines. It's actually the follow-up to Titan's Souls.
Is it?
Yeah, which I didn't realise until I completed the game, and it's made by the same developer.
Right.
Which I didn't notice until the end, and then I went, these are linked, and it's brilliant that you see it's linked. So you play as a little crow. You are a reaper. You are reaping souls for the Reaping Commission, and you're off doing some bureaucratic afterlife work, going through these doors to find souls, and you go off and find this first soul, and then a giant crow, an old crow, basically takes the soul from you after you beat this boss from the original one, and he starts telling you about the Death's Door, the door that no crow can sort of go through, and that crows are going missing, and he thinks it's something linked to this. And to open it, though, we need the 3 giant souls. Okay. So your journey is to go off and find these 3 giant souls to try and find out why the other crows are missing and disappearing. And you also deal with the Lord of Doors and all these sort of things. And he's like the big owner of the bureaucracy and stuff. It's a really cool little game with little bits of story throughout it. And you meet all these characters. It's like you got a sword attack. You have the option for like fireball spells. You can use an arrow, and you can use a chain that drags you places. And you can upgrade all these things by beating different bosses, etc. But it's a really cool, fun game. It looks amazing. The soundscape, like the music in it, is beautiful, and it's really funny. The little character interactions you have, and you're playing as a little crow, and there's a trophy for it for beating the game with just an umbrella. So you can find an umbrella early on and just never use a sword. Yep. So I did that on the first round and just beat everything up with an umbrella, which just felt nice. It's just a real knockback. You have like half the potential damage you could do, and it's slower, but it's really good. And like I said, I really enjoy it, and I love a little game like this where it's challenging. The only thing I would say is that if you're after it for trophies, you have to sit a long time before you get a trophy. I think you're about halfway through the game before you get a trophy.
Really?
That's
a long time.
So they don't give you, if you're like, oh, you've got your first thing. It's like, oh, you have completed this thing. Well done. You have completed this thing. Well done. It's not like that little dopamine drip. So you have to enjoy it for going into it. I know when I first played it, I did bounce off of
I
it.
bounced off it, yeah.
Because I just felt lost. I didn't know where I was going, but it turns out I was going the right way. I just needed to push that little bit further. So it is that initial sort of bounce point, but you will get to a stage where you go, oh, great, I like this. I like this.
Yeah, this is one I need to go back to, because I tried to play this and Tunic at the same time.
Similar
when I
vibes.
was not in the place for either.
Yeah.
So I started playing, I'm like, I don't know. I can't.
I would recommend it though. It's definitely it's also on the essential one, so it's the one that everyone gets.
Yeah.
So do
I'll
pick it
go
up, make
back
sure
to
to add it, and just give it a go. I would say.
Yeah. I will champion everyone's favourite thing, a day one release.
Woo!
My champion game this month is Moving Out 2. I don't remember how I got onto the original Moving Out, but we bought it just because it looked like a fun co-op time, and it's amazing. I love everything about the original Moving Out. It's a great, like, overcooked style thing that requires a lot more cooperation. So, like,
That's great. That's what you needed in that overcooked style is more cooperation.
There are certain items. Basically, the concept of Moving Out is that you are people working for a moving company, and you have to go into houses and move out all of the like marked furniture. And you have fragile items. You have certain items you have to pick up. Each level has 3 challenges that become revealed after you've beaten it once.
So it encourages you to go back and play it a couple of times.
And there's
That's
like
nice.
time trials as well. You have to do all of them in like under a certain time to get the pro medal.
Oh, nice.
Moving Out 2 is more of the same, but it's still great fun. It's got like a lot more, it feels like, level-based interaction things. So like the third level is a beach house.
Yeah.
And in the beach house are beach umbrellas outside on like the decking. And you can bounce items off the umbrella into the van.
Oh, nice.
So we stand on the other side of a pool on each side of a sofa and just go, what? Wait, swing it over the pool, off the umbrellas into the van and feel really happy with ourselves. But it's great. It's got a real goofy sense of humour. Like all of the character models are really
Much
dumb.
like Overcooked then, so it feels the same sort of vibes.
My moving guy is a shoe. It's like an upside down shoe and the like loose sole is his mouth.
Perfect. That's
and
what
then
you
each
need.
character has multiple skins. So one of his skins I can see it's a locked one is a rollerblade, which I really want to get.
Do you have to play it with 2 people or can you play it 1 player?
I think you can play 1 player, and it's like the Overcooked style of 1 player where it adds in like the second assistance character.
Yeah.
Because you do require 2 people for 2-person items.
That's what I thought would be the case.
But you can play it like 3-4 as well. It has 4-player online co-op.
That's fine.
I think we should play it sometime.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That'd be cool.
But
Lovely way for us all to get divorced.
there's just a lot of lovely dumb stuff in it. Like, I can't think what it stands for. I will quickly see if I can Google it
I'd
in
like
time.
to point out that people don't like to play those games with me because I get frustrated and then do stupid things in the corner because I'm frustrated. Like in Overcooked, where I will spend most of the time going in circles with the fire extinguisher.
Yeah,
because I get frustrated.
but ultimately being useless.
Yeah.
Worthless. Just
I
actually,
have fun, though.
you're actually just a hindrance though because you're trying to get past it.
I have fun.
There it goes. In your movement company is called Smooth Moves. Smooth Moves. And the
Like your
people working
Like my brain,
for that company are called Furniture Arrangement Relocation Technicians, or FARTs.
Oh,
perfect.
love that.
And there's a great joke where it's, because you have like your level and
So you're a level 4 fart.
yeah, so they're like, I'd say you leveled up your fart, but I just don't want to know what your response would be.
Genuinely love a good fart joke.
It's
Just in any way, shape, or form.
the humour in it is great. It's so dumb. One of them's like, I call shotgun. It's like, why do you need firearms for moving furniture?
Lovely.
Just humour like that. It's dumb. It's great. I love it.
I love that.
Perfect. So those are our champion games, but should we have a little look at our top 5 games
Top 5, whoa.
that we are recommending for people this month?
Yeah.
I would say that this is a real mixed one. We actually voted on about 10 or 11 of the games. Like I said, I think a lot of us had a real wide variety of what we like the look of this time. So in number 5,
Yeah.
because Karis gave it top marks, it's 2 Point Hospital.
You know, fun. It's whatever.
Number 4, Destiny 2, The Witch Queen.
Sure. Destiny's apparently good.
Destiny 2 is fine. It's a really nice shooter. It's given us an extra expansion. Destiny 2 itself is also free, so it's just giving you free content. Obviously, it's to make you buy more content down the line.
Wasn't a different DLC an Essential game a few months ago?
It was.
So they're just like chunking up bits of it, which I quite like.
Which is nice because Destiny 2 eventually will stop
I
when
will
they
say
bring out
I
Marathon.
voted for this one just because I've seen so much of it because my dad is absolutely...
It's the only thing he plays.
He just loves Destiny.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool. So that's number 4. Number 3, we've already talked about, is Moving Out 2.
Nice.
Which was Darren's pick. Number 2 is Lost Judgment, which is the sequel to Judgment. which we talk about on our same first letter
Same
names,
first letter,
where I play Judgment. It's Yakuza style, but you are a private detective with slightly different changes. It's a really, really cool Judgment, and this is meant to be even better than Judgment.
It's meant to be a slightly weaker story, but better in literally every other way it could be.
Which,
Amazing.
You take it, don't you?
How good Judgment is, great.
Great. And number 1 is Death's Door. So that's our top 5. Other games we did mention and vote for, Dreams came in, which I think is a really cool concept to go in and have a look at.
Yeah.
Because it's basically a massive sandbox thing where people are making millions of games and you can go in and play them, or you can make your own one. I think there was a Simpsons hit and run at one point, but I think it had to get taken down or something along those lines.
Like the actual developers just launched a train game, which is apparently really, really good.
Okay.
Like a train puzzle game or something. I've seen like little clips of it, but it's apparently fantastic.
That's really cool.
Made in Dreams.
We also voted for Sea of Stars, which is also a day one release.
It's not out yet, but I think it looks incredible.
So
it's got real like Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana, like SNES era pixel
So it comes out August 29th, but it is included in this...
In PS Plus Day 1. Yeah.
It's PS Plus Day 1, so we will get it as soon as it comes out.
And I will 100% play
I'll be
it. It
playing
looks
it.
beautiful.
The reason I didn't vote it high is because there's so little of it. You don't know what it's going to actually be like, so it's just one to look at. Destroy All Humans 2 was mentioned, just because...
We enjoyed Destroy All Humans from our original fucking...
Yeah.
second episode.
24-hour platinums, that was platinums in a day.
And it took you like 24 and a half.
No, I think it did succeed. I did it in 23 hours or something like that. I just beat it, didn't I?
No, you didn't. Because we gave us a cut-off of 16 hours. I think you did it in like 16:30 or
That's
something
what it
like
was,
that.
yeah.
I just know when I streamed Destroy All Humans, it was so batshit that I was like,
fun game.
This is
I like
fun.
Destroy All Humans.
Yeah.
Curse to Golf.
I've seen a lot of good stuff about it. It's a roguelike golf game, like side-scroller golf puzzler thing.
Oh, okay.
And I've seen it be streamed by a few people.
Is it after Dodgeball Academia? You're like, I
fucking loved Dodgeball Academia. That's not the point.
And the other one was Midnight Fight Express, which looked really cool.
Interesting, yeah.
It has that sort of Hotline Miami vibe. I know it's more sort of 3D. It's a 3D beat 'em up, but you're like an ex-mob person, and now you've gone like vigilante. But it was like it's a solo person thing, like a Polish guy. I can't remember his name. Has coded the entire game. The only thing he hasn't done is the music. So I love a game where it's one person having a vision and just like building it. So it's another one to be on there. But that is August. That's our PS Plus thoughts and opinions. It's an all right month. I'm sure there'll be something in there. You go, that's for me, even if it's PGA 2K23.
Yeah, people have enjoyed it.
I mean, I enjoyed the last golf game they threw on there, and then it fucked up my save, and I was like, well, I'm not playing 4 hours to get back to where I was.
Yeah. It's a weird one where normally when they put down like sports games, people are like, oh, what the fuck's this? And all I've seen in response to it is like, yeah, PGA's pretty fucking fun. Yeah.
It's weird. I actually quite like it when they put a sports game in there that I wouldn't normally get. I go, cool, there's something for me to lose a few hours into.
I want them to put another MLB game in.
Oh, I suck at it.
I enjoyed them.
I suck at them. But yeah, that is August. I don't think there's anything else to bring up.
I think so, no.
There is another game event that's coming out tonight, the night that this is released. I'm not going to make any predictions for it, but there's going to be some new interesting stuff.
Is it the Gamescom one?
Yeah, Gamescom.
They've said I don't think there's going to be any new.
No, nothing new there. That's all right then.
I think they said it's just going to be updates on the most hotly anticipated things.
Fuck them then.
More on like Spider-Man, Assassin's Creed, stuff like that. It'll be pretty cool.
So yeah, do give that a watch. But yeah, that's it. So just to end off as always is. Do check us out on our socials.
Yeah.
So you can find us at DiscountPod on Instagram. You can find us on our individual Instagrams at Discount Josh, Discount Darren, Discount Cerys, all with 2 C's. And we do stream on Twitch, so all the games we discuss in our normal episodes are streamed, plus our legacy games, which Darren is currently on Kingdom Hearts 2. Cerys is doing Resident Evil 1, the remake of it, and I am now going on to Sekiro after a vote.
Fuck that, out of order.
I think it's now going to go Sekiro, then Dark Souls 2, then Bloodborne,
I voted
then
for Dark Souls 2 on every opportunity I
get.
Order.
Yeah, so
I'll have this.
So Sekiro is probably going to be the next one, which is the one I'm going to probably struggle the most with.
Cool.
And yeah, do check us out there. And all these do go on to YouTube. So if you want a slightly longer version of this episode, or you want to catch any of our streams that you've missed, check us out on YouTube at Discount Pod as well. Mm-hmm. Anything else we want to say?
Shout out to Bandai Namco.
Shout out to Bandai Namco, and we'll catch you all next time. Thank you for being our player fours.
Sending you lots of plots.
Lots.